You're watching Black in the Core, and we're at the African Burial Ground.
Hey guys, this is Black in the Core and I'm Will. Today we're at the African Burial Ground, so let's go for a tour. This national monument was built on a portion of the largest known African burial ground in North America. 15,000 Africans were buried here in the 17th and 18th centuries. A map from 1754 shows the early days of the city. At its northern edge, on the other side of the palisade wall protecting the city, you can see it labeled as the Negroes' Burial Ground. Within the city, laws curtailed black gatherings at funerals from fear that such gatherings could contribute to slave rebellions. And Trinity Church banned black people from being buried in the public cemetery in 1697. So this site was especially important to Africans. Here, they could honor the dead with their traditional burial customs. But as the city grew northward, the burial ground was covered and forgotten until 1991. When construction of the Ted Weiss Federal Office Building led to the discovery of the remains of 419 individuals, 24 feet below street level. Along with the ancestors' remains, they found personal effects such as jewelry and shroud pins. But this memorial didn't come easy. It took years of struggle by black leaders and activists to make the government change its plans for the office building and make space for this important monument. Finally, a memorial was designed by Brooklyn-born architect Rodney Leon, and it was completed in 2007. When you visit the African Burial Ground, it's usually not a very crowded place, nor was it meant to be. What you do often find are individuals or small groups quietly contemplating the deep meaning of this sacred space. Today, I met a woman who had some personal experiences and insight to share about what the African Burial Ground means to her.
Well, I was in high school, a freshman in high school in 1992 when the African Burial Ground was discovered. And its importance stuck with me over the years. Recently, I re-enrolled in college. I grew up in Brooklyn, but we relocated to Atlanta 13 years ago. And I had a dream about Nanny of the Maroons, which is a Jamaican heroine. And it made me remember about how I felt when I found out about the African Burial Ground as a teenager. I re-enrolled at Georgia State University. I majored in English literature and minored in African American studies with the intent of writing more of our history. Being American and having Jamaican parents, I see the similarities in our struggles. So I want to mend the two to show us that each of us is related in some way. We're all from the same place. We all traveled here forcefully, during the slave trade. We are just like a boat stop away. You could have been in the ship with your sister, uncle, aunt, and when they made a stop in Trinidad, they let off your uncle. When they made a stop in the port of Jamaica, they let off your mother. And then when they made the stop here in America, they could let off your father. We don't know how closely we can be related, and I want to show that relation in my work. So the Sankofa symbol, which means, look back, always look back to know where you're going. It's found in many parts in Jamaica, in the Maroon village in Jamaica, and it's found here on the African Burial Ground in one of the tombs that they unearthed. So I want to just mend the two to show our closeness, our relation, our oneness. So visiting here, I just wanted to come and sit and feel and be one with this space to inspire my writing more. And it really has. I'm very happy I made the trip. And thanks for stopping me.
Thank you so much. And what was your name?
My name is Tamara.
These rough rapids of water symbolize the turmoil and upheaval faced by the ancestors during the sea crossing. Tumbling over waterfalls, the droplets settle into two tranquil pools, a final resting place that this monument represents. This inscription shows the original African burial ground as it relates to this monument and the modern-day streets surrounding it. The cemetery originally stretched over 6.5 acres. This structure is made of black granite, mined in Africa, and rises out of the ground to resemble the hull of a ship. The Ancestral Chamber inside this structure provides a sacred space for contemplation. We're descending to the Ancestral Libation Court. It features a circular world map carved in the floor in black and gray granite. This arrow points toward West Africa, where most of the enslaved people originated. This is a gathering space for ceremonial rituals of libation to reconsecrate the monument, linking past, present, and future generations in the spirit of Sankofa. This is the first of many symbols inscribed in the circle of the Diaspora, an ascending ramp that returns us to street level. It's the symbol for Papa Legba, a deity in Haitian voodoo, also known as Elegba in the Yoruba religion and Elegua in Latin America. He opens the way for ceremonies, controls roads and paths, and is the first deity to whom any appeal must be made. So that's why his symbol appears first on this rising path. These signs and symbols come from cultures and religions all across the African diaspora. They're a reminder of the enormous diversity of African cultures and how their influence has spread throughout the world.
Bambo jira, eshuadara, bambo jira, 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 eshualona, bambo jira, 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 eshuadara, bambo jira, bambo jira, bambo jira, bambo jira, bambo jira.
This monument doesn't just commemorate the ancestors buried here in Lower Manhattan. it's also intended as a communal space for Black people from everywhere to visit, gather, and honor our history and heritage. An inscription on the Wall of Remembrance dedicates this monument. For all those who were lost, for all those who were stolen, for all those who were left behind, for all those who are not forgotten. Finally, we approach the ancestral Re-Interment grove. These 7 symbolic mounds of grass cover 7 buried crypts. Each crypt holds 60 coffins made of mahogany wood from Ghana, containing the remains of the 419 individuals discovered in 1991. One extra coffin contains the offerings left by people at the excavation site. It's a profound experience to visit these mounds and reflect on the final resting place of so many of our ancestors. May they rest forever in peace and power. In 2010, a visitor center was completed within the adjacent federal office building. It marked the end of the 20-year struggle by activists and elected officials to make sure the history of the burial ground and of slavery in New York becomes a permanent part of Lower Manhattan. Right now, the visitor center is closed because of the pandemic, but I'll be doing a part 2 for this video from inside the visitor center as soon as it opens up again. Make sure you subscribe to Black in the Course so you won't miss it. How did this visit to the African burial ground make you feel? Do you think the designers did a good job of honoring the ancestors? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Please subscribe to my channel for future videos on New York City and hit the notification bell to receive more updates. Thanks for watching my video. Please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button because I'll be posting more videos on life in New York City.